what it says in the title. It's what it says in the title. Stupid people make more money than you. Us. They make more money than us. People with audacity, they just make more money than us. People less intelligent than you, they make more money than you. They're working smart, living their best lives, because they know their strengths and weaknesses. They know what they need to prioritize to get what they want. And they may not be as smart as you, but they're getting what they want. They're living their best life. And this is how you're going to do it, okay? This is how we're going to do this. Okay, so this video was inspired by Layla Mosley. If you want to look her up, I think she's a millionaire. She's doing very well. And it was inspired by a video I watched for her like a while ago. She was saying how she was at this like this thing where like people go on a platform and then they speak about their business and whatnot. And then this guy came up and she was watching a speech. And then she said that she didn't even this video made me laugh. She said she didn't even hear what he had to say, because she was just shocked. She was just shocked when she just saw him. She was like, this guy is stupid, but he's making more money than her. She was just shocked. She just didn't listen to his speech. She was like, how is this guy making more money than her? Okay, not to validate that he was stupid. I don't know who he was. I don't know why she even knew that he was stupid. I have no idea. But it does say a lot. It does say a lot. Intelligence isn't always the answer. It's not always the best. It's not always the way that's going to make you rich, wealthy, successful. And here are the reasons why. I remember doing some research and finding out that I was like, one day I was researching, are intellectually intelligent people more like people without higher IQ, more intelligent or more successful than emotional intelligent people? Business people or like CEOs, are they the ones who have higher IQ or a higher EQ? And looking at the results, I wasn't surprised. It was actually people who are emotionally intelligent tend to become more successful and tend to become like CEOs or like business people. And from what I can see, it's probably due to perfectionism, because if you have a high IQ, you're more likely to want to become perfect and want to have accurate results. And also you're more likely to want to overthink as well, because you don't want to make any mistakes. You don't want to you want to make sure that the options you choose or that the plan that you have is perfect. And because of that, it can stop you from taking actions. It stops you from being proactive, because you're like, oh, the plan's not going to work because of this and that. Because you're overthinking it, you're being too perfect regarding it, and it's going to hold you back, and it's also going to hold you back your self-esteem. Emotionally intelligent people, they're likely to just go for it, or like kind of follow their gut instinct or whatnot. Probably going to benefit more from networking, by talking to the right people, having the right charm, engaging well with them, and just creating relationships. Because if you look at a lot of business people who are in business or successful, they say have the right network, like build your network, really build your network, know the right people. There was a video of this lady, I think she was in like the oil industry, and she said, and then the interviewer asked her, okay, so if you were to lose everything, do you think you'll be able to get back the funds, like the wealth you've acquired? And she said yes, because she knows the right people. She's like, because I have a good network, I know the right people, I got people under my belt. Like, whoop. I was like, whoa. This was a lady, she I don't think she was well off like when she was younger. She just built her way up. I don't know if she had a high IQ or high EQ, but you can tell that she kind of built things for herself. She kind of built her life for herself, and she was ambitious. I noticed that a lot of people who may be deemed as like smart, they focus on their strengths instead of their weaknesses. I think there was a video where this guy was talking about how he became successful. He said something about focus on his strengths instead of his weaknesses, and this makes a lot of sense. In the video, he said that turtle doesn't learn to fly. It chooses to get used to swimming and learn how to swim from like when they're a baby. Because that's what they're able to do. Imagine a bird tries to swim when they can't swim. I don't know if birds, there's some that can, it's like swim in like under the water for a long period of time. A turtle's more likely to do that rather than a bird. So why would you do that? So it says a lot about focusing on your strengths instead of your weaknesses. Once at a time, when I was like working my part-time job, they'll have this saying, when I worked at McDonald's, they'll say put the aces in their places, especially on like high busy days. when you don't have time to train people because it's busy. The traffic is going to be busy and there are going to be lots of people. So service needs to be quick. It needs to be quick, because if it's busy and the service is slow, people will complain. You never know, like fights might occur. You never know. People will be beeping their horns, because I've seen it, okay? We're putting aces in their places. People who are competent in different areas. So let's say in window one, taking orders in drive-through, people who are at the kitchen flipping burgers, people assembling the burgers and whatnot. It's best to put aces in their places, because imagine you have people who aren't in their places and they aren't trained for that area. It's going to slow down. And with McDonald's, it's like you have your burger, you have your fries. So imagine the fries person is not they're not really competent in the area, they're not well trained in the area, and it's a busy day. And yes, they've got all these fries lined up, but once it runs out, then they may not realized, oh, they should have cooked some before it ran out, and now you have to wait, like, I don't know how long it takes to cook fries. I say like 2-3 minutes. But in McDonald's, the McDonald's is known for being fast paced. So in McDonald's, it's like those 3 minutes, 2 minutes, especially in drive-through, that's like 10 minutes to people in drive-through. Like, how you've been in the McDonald's drive-through, it seems very long. I've been in there, and even I'm like, oh, it's taking so long. But I'm like, oh, I understand, because it's not as long as you think. It's just drive-throughs tends to be quick, and the service is usually quick. Same with like football teams and like the NBA football teams. You have people in the right places that are good at like shooting hoops, good at being in center. I don't know the terms. Because if like a striker's good at striking, why would you put them on defense? Why would you put them as the goalie? They're not trained for that. They're not trained. So you need to focus on your strengths instead of your weaknesses. Once you sharpen, like, focus on your strengths, you can find other people to cover your weaknesses, or like start slowly learning the basis of those weaknesses. It's the same with like a CEO. He might be weak in an area, but he or she has strengths in one area. So because of that, they know, oh, I need to hire other people who are good in that area. It's like, a CEO, they're gonna hire people in the warehouse, they're gonna hire people in the office, they're gonna hire people for admin, because they don't have enough time, and that's not their strength. Their strength is like within the business and how to operate it and whatnot. Why would they do that? Why would they spend their time and waste their money? Why not spend your money rather than waste your time and trying to learn everything? So the same, like, a lot of musicians or talented people. There's a lot of talented artists, some don't know how to dance. Like Adele, I think Adele, she's good at singing, she's good at making like sad songs, but she's not gonna go out and dance because that's not her forte. I don't think she even cares for it, so she's not gonna do that. But she's got strengths in her music. Same with Taylor Swift, she's got strengths in the music rather than dancing, so she's not going to do that and maybe do 1-2-1-2, but it's not her forte. Like, she has a guitar, it's going to be hard for her. But artists like maybe Sierra, Shay, Beyonce, they're good at dances, they actually enjoy dancing, so they're going to incorporate into their music and also make music that where you can dance, and because of that, they're able to like create a fan base that likes those things whilst they're able to enjoy what they do, and they do it well because they actually enjoy it. A lot of things that successful people do, they act fast, they have good time, because they know that opportunities won't always exist. Like, for example, with clothing brands, if there's something that's trending, then they're gonna create a garment that's similar to that. Like, let's say years ago, the slit trousers, they were quite popular. You start seeing like artists wearing it in the music video. I think Doja Cat did at some point, and maybe some K-pop artists. And then you can see like a lot of companies like selling like slit clothes and whatnot, or like sometimes it's clothing seasonal. So winter clothes, you're gonna get out as much winter clothes in September, and because you know that's the season where it starts. You're gonna prepare like getting summery clothes depending on where you live, because the seasons are different depending on where you live. For example, is like gaps in the market, or another example of trends. Even on YouTube, there was a time where fashion hauls were so popular, and so people were doing that. They got like loads of they were able to build a community and get subscribers because fashion hauls were so like trending. Now it's not trending as much because of consumerism and people buying too much and not wanting to spend as much and wasting so much money on clothes. And then also, if you look at where the clothes go, a lot of people sell the clothes. They don't want anyone to just buy too much, overconsumption. And a lot of the like clothes like from Shein, they're being sent to thrifting places because nobody wants them. So you can see that how now now clothing hauls, it might be a niche, but it's not as popular because of those negative factors, and that's why you don't see it as much anymore. There was a time when self-care was popular. Now it's still, I think there's still a niche, but where self-care was just everywhere, or like productive videos, they were just everywhere. Sometimes it's by seeing the gaps, well, with acting fast, by seeing the gaps in the market. For example, I think there was the owner of Master Label. I think she was on a TV show called Towie, but she decided to go to the business route. This was like, I think before COVID, she saw the gap in the market with like stylish lifestyle kind of swimwear. I think she launched it before 2020, or she was planning on launching it, and COVID did happen, so she had to take a pause on it. I think she ended up being flexible with it. She was like, okay, I can't focus on this, but I think she started doing yoga lessons, doing some lessons instead, so she can save money and like make money and live off of that. And after COVID started to settle down, she went back to focusing on the brand and investing more money in that, just focusing on that. And I think from now, like if you look at the brand, Master Label is doing very well, it's thriving, and she decided to continue the acting route, but decided to go this route. She even had to do something on the side to like make money, but she was acting fast, she was acting quick, and she was always seeing the gaps in the market as well. Be smart, but you can act fast. And sometimes your network can make or break you. It's a bit with like the emotion intelligence aspect of it. So if you look at JC's old videos, he talks about what he did back in the day. He was saying how he would when we talk to people, he would like notice things about them, like, oh, they like this, they like that, they're interested in this, and ask them like personal questions and see, and kind of interact in them in a way that would be charming to them or appealing to them. And because of that, he's able to like know what to do in business, and also like it was network with the right people, talk to the right people, and charm them as well. That's why he used to be a musician, like, or mainly rap and just make money for rapping, but now he's like a rapper turned business person. And back in the day, that wasn't necessarily a thing, but now he's showing that, yeah, it can happen, he's done it, and that you can do it. From rappers, you can have a good network, you can build something for yourself, but if you're not emotionally intelligent, it can really, and be careful what you say and put out there, it can also do the opposite, it can damage you. So for example, it's like Kanye West. He had as you know, the Yeezys, very popular in America. He had that brand deal with Nike, and that's like back in the day, he was probably making a lot of music, but now music is not making as much money as now. But with having that business, those Yeezys, those were very popular. It's like Michael Jordan's Jordan trainers. Well, he has those Yeezys, it's different, in his own brand. He's getting so much money with Nike. Nike's a top brand in trainers, it's best selling, or it's a top brand in trainers, it's very popular. But there was a point where Kanye was I think he was being a bit too problematic for Nike. I mean, it had been going on for like quite some time, a few years, but I think there was a point where it just had to stop. I think they had to cut the deal off because of his behavior, and because he just wasn't being emotionally intelligent regarding it. Because of that, he had to use his Nike Yeezy deal, and that's what's probably most likely making him more money than now. Because now, as you get older, as a musician or artist, rapper, actor, it's going to be harder. Well, maybe not for actors, but for musicians, it's going to be harder. Like tour, you make money from touring, so it's going to be harder for touring around. You don't have the energy, not have time to make music because they're new artists coming in. So by having a business, like for example Rihanna, by having a business with Fenty, it's easier to go that route because you don't have the energy as much. Music isn't making as much because of streaming and whatnot. So you need to be careful as to how you do behave, because Kanye's known to make controversial statements. Since we are talking about rap, I just wanted to make a note. I think I came across this. I think Snoop Dogg got in trouble with, this is when the Queen Elizabeth passed away. He made a comment about her, and I think in the 90s he got in trouble with the UK. I don't know what he had done. I don't think there's something that great that he did, but because of that he got in trouble with the UK and whatnot. And I think you can enter the UK. I don't know what you need to do. I don't know if you need to perform anything or just visit, but you can enter the UK. But the lady Queen Elizabeth herself said that her grandchildren, and this is what I said about networking or just like having a good reputation around people, because of that, she said, my grandbabies, my grandkids, and you know the Queen loved her kids and family. She said, they love Snoopy Dogg. I have no idea how she said it. They love him, and he was excused from the situation. This happened in the 90s, but he was excused by her lady from rest in peace, from the situation. That says a lot. That says a lot. A rapper from Long Beach, California, and because he makes good music, people know him, they like him, they like his, they know him, they like him, they just like his music. That's why. Thing that you can do is just work hard and work consistently. So of course I've said working smart is good, but also working hard does play an effect. But in this way, they worked hard but work smart. So with streaming, with Twitch, with YouTube, you can make lots of money, like social media, content creation. You can make so much money with these people. Like, for example, my example is Kai Cenat. It's a risk at the end of the day, but decided to work hard. I think Kai Cenat was always like streaming. He was making videos, making skits. He was always being consistent, and because of that, his hard work and consistency, he was able. And I don't know if he went to college or did whatnot and studied. I don't think he went to uni, college, in America, but he decided to go this route, and now he's making so much money. He's making so much money. I don't know how much his net worth is, but he's probably making much more money than maybe an orthodontist or a surgeon. I don't know, but you know, he's living well and he's well off. It's just hard work and consistency, but doing it in a smart way where it's, of course there are sacrifices to it, but you're able to make money much more easily. Like, let's say you'd have to study 3-4 years, 5 years even, to become like a brain surgeon. 6 years, a brain surgeon. You do get paid well, but it might not take as long as becoming a Twitch streamer if you're very consistent, dedicated. The next thing you do is know yourself. So I want to kind of link this with zodiac signs. So if you're into this, like if you know your birth chart, I know my birth chart, so knowing your zodiac sign is really good. I feel like there's some zodiac signs who are good at doing creative things. Like I know Pisces, like Justin Bieber, he's a Pisces. A lot of Scorpios, Drake is a Scorpio, Rihanna's a Pisces. They're really good at creating music, and because of that, or choosing what music is right, because of that, they're resilient and able to create music that kind of is popular amongst a large population. Okay, if you know a lot about zodiac signs, there are signs that are Capricorns, a lot of Virgos. They do well in the music industry, like Michael Jackson, because they're perfectionists. Beyonce, are perfectionists. They work hard. So knowing yourself, your hobbies, what you're good at, what you like, it ties in a bit of strengths, but just knowing who you are, because you might be good at a certain hobby, but you might not like it, and you might be the person sad if you do make money from it. People who they like studying, sitting down, they want to become a surgeon or whatnot, they want to become a teacher and make money off of that. Geminis, they like communicating, they like talking. So if they're let's say a YouTuber and talking about like celebrity gossip, they'll be good at it. If they do consistently, then they'll be good at it, because they're good with communicating, good with bringing ideas and different topics. They're active, so they're more likely to want to go for sports, things of like action, adventure. So they might want to become like a yoga, well, yeah, maybe you're a Muay Thai boxing instructor, be a Muay Thai boxing instructor, or be a football coach, a karate instructor. So it's good to know yourself, know your abilities and what you want to do and how you can apply that. There are many people who weren't born into like a rich family or a family that's supportive, but they're able to like learn and adapt. They may not be the smartest person in the world, but they're able to learn and to adapt. They know that if they study, learn about finances and how to work it, buy books, buy courses, and invest in themselves. So there's some who just learn from people's mistakes, talk to people and ask them which direction should they go to, knowing the right people, talking to the right people, and just learning from other people, like talking to parents even. Teacher who's been doing a test for so long, let's say a test for like 6-10 years, you're likely going to want that teacher, because that teacher, he knows how to study for a certain test. So with these type of people, they know how to study for a test. So they say, there's, in class, there are those people that they may not be the smartest, but they say, or they say, oh, I'm not smart, I just know how to answer the answers on that test. I just know how the test works. There are people like that. These are the people who, they move smart, they work smart. They're like, yeah, I'm not smart, just I know that this is going to be on the test, or this is what they want from me, this is how they want me to answer this question. So if you're worried you're not smart enough, you don't come from like a good family background, no one said you had to be. No one has said you have to be smart. You have to move smart, yes. Make the best of what you've got. You can even become smarter. So don't ever think that you can't. There are lots of people in this world that should not be thriving based off of their disadvantages, their bad luck, their lack of privileges, but they are still thriving. They're still being successful. They're still doing well. Don't let that be you, okay? Don't let that be you. It's been proven so many times that they were able to get out of it, so don't let that be you. In the video, hope you liked that. What were like your favorite parts in this video? What were your favorite examples? My favorite example was the Snoop Dogg one. I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy. I need to become a rapper. I need to become a rapper so I can just get away with things. But, you know, I thought that was like an interesting story. Sometimes it's just people you know, the way you navigate through the world. So if you like that video, share this video to someone who you think that could benefit a lot from this video. Don't forget to sparkle babes, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Have a lovely day.